Well, hey, MSC Kids leaders, I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to pause and prepare well for Sunday morning. Over the next 12 weeks, we're going to be doing this video series all about the cultural values that we have here at MSC Kids and ways that we want you to be able to lead. It's not just because we want to add some rules to your plate, but it's because we want the best for you and for the kids in our ministry. So, getting started, we want to talk all about our vision here at MSC Kids. As you know, as a church, we have our mission and our vision. Our vision is to empower God's people to change the world, and we want to transform lives from the neighborhoods to the nations. And at MSC Kids, we believe that kids are the starting point of that mission and vision. And so that's why we say that you're never too young to change the world. We want every child, from the youngest to the oldest, from the most challenging to the smartest in the room, to know that they have a place at God's table, that they can be able to harness their gifts and their talents, and they can be able to utilize them for the kingdom. And so we want kids to know what it means that they're never too young to change the world. You know, I remember even in my own life that when I realized this, it really helped me in my spiritual walk. I remember when I was in 4th grade, I did not like going to Sunday school. I thought I was too cool for Sunday school and that Sunday school had nothing to teach me. And so I had two options. My dad said, you can be able to do one of two things. You can either be able to go to kids' church and try to learn as much as you can, or you can serve. And so I chose the serving route. And so I served with my dad in the baby's room at the time. And I remember having two important jobs. The first one was I was the goldfish passer outer. Every single time that goldfish was about to be passed out, it was my job as a 4th grader to be the one to pass out the goldfish. And I was also the bubble blower. So anytime the kids were asking for bubbles, it was, Mr. Brandon, come on over, pass out the bubbles, right? And those were jobs that my dad had set aside just for me. I knew going into a Sunday that those were roles and responsibilities that I could be able to do because he knew that I wasn't too young to do it. He could have easily said, you know what? No, you are not responsible enough to pass out goldfish. Let an adult do that. But he saw potential in me. He saw value in me. He saw what God saw in me, and he called that out to be able to say, you know what, Brandon, you are not too young, and you can be able to change the world for these babies. And so that was foundational for me, and I know it's foundational for a lot of the kids in our ministry too. We want them to know that they're never too young to change the world. You know, in a world and a society that's always saying, no, you can't do this yet, you can't drive yet, you can't vote yet, you can't, fill in the blanks. We want to be the people. We want to be the church that says, you have a place in God's table. You have a place in God's kingdom. And that's just not our elementary kids, but that's also our early childhood and even down to our nursery kiddos. You know, my daughter Taylor, I want her to feel confident knowing that she has a place that she can be able to contribute and be passionate about the local church. And so that's why we say that you're never too young to change the world. So how do we do this? How do we take this from an idea and actually put it into practice? Well, there's a couple of ideas, and I want you to brainstorm too. The first one is look for the potential in a child. Look for the potential in a child. Don't just look at a child as a young, up-and-coming leader. Look at a child as a current leader. What are the things that they're doing that can be elevated? You know, I love two of our phenomenal leaders that lead upstairs, Bobby and Michelle Claire. They do this very well with their own daughters, and Bella is a perfect example of this. They give Bella responsibilities where she's at, and I love it because it's not overstepping what our student leaders do. It's not overstepping what our other leaders do, but they find ways to encourage her to give high fives to other kids, you know, to sit down with a kid or go engage with a kid that might be on the outs, so to speak. And so look for those ways that you can be able to call out that passion in a child. But also, number two, recognize that you yourself have passions and you yourself have ways that you can contribute to MSC Kids and to the body of Christ. So look for the passions in kids, call those out, but also realize that you have a spot at the table as well. Remember, we're never too young to change the world. We're also never too old to change the world either. So thank you guys so much. Let's go out this week as we get to impact the lives of kids, knowing that they are never too young to change the world.